Well, it wasn't supposed to rain, and it's raining anyways. Yeah, I checked the weather 2 hours ago. It wasn't supposed to rain. I'm not that fast.
How you doing?
Not bad, how are you? Hello again. I am Vane, and I'm on an adventure. This weekend I'm on the Elk River Rail Trail in West Virginia, and we're going to ride from end to end. The trail is supposed to be 70 or 80 miles. I don't remember the exact number, but it's not completed. One section of the trail is 40 or 50 miles long, and then on the south side of the trail in Clendenin, there's 3 to 5 miles of trail. And somewhere in the middle, well, somewhere in between is, I'm not really sure, probably road. We're gonna bike the long section of the trail today, find somewhere to camp, and then tomorrow we're going to connect the two ends of the trail either by road, maybe the original rail line. I don't really know. I think a lot of the original rail line is actually used as road now. some of the original rail line that's not been completed runs through private property, and there's, I don't know, I guess disputes about the property, and they're trying to work that out so they can finish the trail. So I'm not 100% sure what the route's going to be for us tomorrow, but we should be closing in the trail. The original rail line through here ran from Charleston to Elkins, West Virginia. I started in Gassaway this morning, and Gassaway is almost the midpoint between Charleston and Elkins. Oh, there's a horsey. Folks, when you see a horse, yield to the horsies. We're going to yield and look at them. Hello. Wasn't expecting to see anybody out this early, much less on a horse. Yeah, you're good. Hello. Who's a good boy?
There you go. Thank you.
No problem. Folks, that's why you yield to horses. I hope I caught all that. That is a perfect example of why you yield to horses. Yield don't mean give them room. It means stop. He was quite nervous, and it's a good thing we stopped. Moving right along. The original rail line was put in place by the original rail line was put in place by the Coal and Coke Company in 1905, and after that it was ran by the B&O. It was ran by the Elk River line. What's kind of crazy to think about is the last train was on the track in 2022, and they cleared the track for the Elk River State Park. So this is a really new trail, and that's kind of nuts to think about. Just 4 years ago there was a train here. All right, logistics. I came in yesterday and parked in the Clendenin end. Clendenin, from Clendenin, I got a ride with Nick from Bigfoot Braxies bike shop in Gassaway. He hooked me up with a ride and brought me to Gassaway. I was going to poke around at Gassaway. I thought about there's like a Dairy Queen or something nearby. I don't know. I was going to try to get me a cheeseburger or something. I checked the weather. It wasn't supposed to rain, and it did rain. Not at all a shock. So I ended up not going anywhere to eat. I didn't really poke around any. There's not a lot to poke around at. Nick opened the shop and let me take a look. Nick takes in a lot of old bikes. People's getting rid of old bikes. He takes them in, fixes them up, and gives them away. And that's pretty awesome. Coincidentally, like, the shop was closed when I got a ride. He opened it up, and right as he did, some fella came in looking for a bike. So he's definitely giving bikes away. So I'm on the shuttle ride here. I'm headed to Gassaway. This is my shuttle driver. Man, tell everybody who you are, tell about your shop, and anything else you want folks to know.
Hi, I'm Nick Salvo. I'm the co-owner with my wife, Beth Salvo of Bigfoot Braxies Bikes and Trailhead Farm Meats and More. It's a combination store of a farm store and a bike shop in the back room.
You got a full service shop, right?
Yes, we do service on bikes, we do rentals, and we do a lot of used bike sales, and we just added electric brand e-bikes for sales.
Oh, sweet.
And we work much like a community bike shop where we take donations of bicycles, we fix them up, and we give them away to kids.
I might actually have some bikes for you at some point then.
Super. We take any bike in any condition. You can just drop them off.
All right, cool. Anyways, I may or may not have hypothetically stealth camped in town. Maybe it was for dramatic effect. And we are up and moving. Lots of these cross ties piled up along the trail where they just took the trail down. I wonder if somebody wanted to use them. I bet they'd let them have them. There is not a lot of places for water along the trail, so I trucked some water down. And in Gassaway, there's places in Gassaway. I got water this morning from the gas station. I'm not sure if I'll run across water before I get to the end of my day, so I'm packing an extra 3 liters of water. Might be overkill. I don't like running out of water. It's not that warm currently. It's a little chilly. It's supposed to be up in the 70s today, but it's not supposed to get there till like 4 o'clock. And by then I'll probably be done. But I'll find a place to set up camp and maybe actually show my camp this time. It's not much to it. Anyways, that's enough blabbing for now. On we go. Hello. How y'all doing? Moving right along. Just stopped and had lunch. Peanut butter and bagels. Just past mile marker 45. So I'm about halfway done for my day. The trail starts Gassaway as mile 22. And it goes down, I think it's Heartland. It's at mile 66. So 44 miles or so today, maybe 50 by the time I find where I'm stopping at. So far, the only amenities on the trail has been some pit potties at mile, I think 32, and then at 45. It looks like there's a potty every 10 to 15 miles. But there has been no water access. You ride along the river, but I ain't filtering that water. I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but I am on the first day of the second week, day 8 of no caffeine at all. So I have no caffeine today. It's a little chilly. It's cloudy. We got overcast. It's supposed to clear up and get warm. Like it's supposed to get up in the 70s by 4 o'clock. And the cloud cover is supposed to disappear, and it's supposed to be sunny by 1 or 2. And it's afternoon now, and I see no letting up of the cloud cover. I think I might get a second wind if the sun was to come out. So far the trail's nice. It's crushed stone, but in a few spots you can see where I guess maybe the gravel's worked its way up through the crushed stone. Or nonetheless, there's gravel along some of the trail. You gotta be careful. I guess if you was on skinnier tires and not paying attention and hit some gravel, it might cause an issue. This trail rolls along the Elk River, as you might imagine. And the road is on the other side of the river. There's a couple road crossings so far, but I have seen 0 traffic. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of traffic on the road across the river either. Tomorrow, I'll be closing in the 2 pieces of trail, the 2 sections, most likely riding on the road. I feel like if the rail line got pulled up in 2022, the original ballast surface should be all the way to Clendenin. But I'm not sure, and nobody that I've talked to seemed to know. So my intention is to try to ride what would have been the rail line all the way to Clendenin but I'm a little concerned because there's only a few access points to go across to the road. Like, I don't want to bike down some really bad trail for 10 miles only to realize I can't and have to turn around and find a bridge. So tomorrow technically should be a shorter day, but it could be way worse. And it could be longer. Anyways, I appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. And on we go.
Can you get off here, see?
Nah, man, I don't mind. Give some perspective.
Found Bigfoot.
The overcast quietly moved away. Now we just got blue skies and puffy clouds, and the sun's out. I was real worried I was going to get dumped on, but it might be okay. Well, I'm in Clay, West Virginia. Is across the river here. This is the spot that I started at the last time I did the trail. My goal today was to get down to the end of the trail, which is in Heartland, and find a spot to camp. There's nothing between here and Heartland. It's about 4 miles probably. I'm contemplating going across the river, which requires me biking up this hill over here, grabbing me something to eat. It's early. It's like 4 o'clock. 4:13. Grabbing me something to eat, finding some water because there's still no access to water over here. Apparently they're building a visitor center here, and it looks like it's going to be real nice, and there's a water fountain, but it's not currently on. So I need to find water. Man, I guess that kind of answers the question. I was contemplating whether I wanted to just go on to Heartland or go across the river to get something to eat. But I have to go across the river to get water anyways. But something to eat is across the river and then a mile or so up the road. I don't really have an option if I want water. You can check the map and then I'll figure it out. More to come, folks. More to come. I believe this is the only iron trestle bridge on the trail. Let's roll across it before we head over for some food. Got me a spot picked out for stealth camping if I don't go down the trail any further. It's a pretty nice spot. I like it. It's so nice that I think I'm going to hang out here. They've done a lot of work to this spot since the last time I was here. This was actually a terrible spot the last time I was here. They've got it all cleaned out. This entire building's built. They got some tracks laid out in front of the building. I'm going to say maybe they're going to put a caboose on it, on the tracks, but it'd be silly to put a caboose in front of the building like that. It'd block the building. Anyways, I'm about 4.5 miles from the end of the trail in Heartland, and I don't know if I want to stay where I'm at. There's a nice spot here. Or see if it's any better down in Heartland. Anything I don't do today, I got to do in the morning. But I don't know that I'm going to find a better spot to camp at than where I'm at now. Go get some food. I also don't want to, it's like 1.5 miles to go get something to eat. There's nothing in Clay. I got to go up the road. Anyways, I'm just blabbing. Been a fun day. Well, I stopped and had dinner. Ran into a couple. Actually, I ran into one fella first. And I was chatting with him. He pulled over to the side of the road, asked me if I was touring. He's a cyclist too. And we chatted. He ended up realizing that we had met before. You know, and I moseyed on, went to the Gino's pizza place, had dinner, and this same fella and his wife ended up showing up in Gino's for dinner on Sunday. I'd say it's quite a coincidence, but to be fair, ain't a lot of places to eat here. So they ended up having dinner with me. They invited me over to camp in their yard. And they was going to give me a ride there and back. It's 6 miles. And I decided against it. I kind of got my plan set, so I'm just kind of riding with the plan. Now, I was going to stealth camp back here where I was at earlier, but if I did, I'd have to edit all that out and not show it. So I decided to head on down the trail. So I'm gonna find me a place down this way to camp. Now, I was talking to that fella and he told me that some of the bridges on the original rail line had been washed away in flooding. So I'm not going to be able to ride the trail all the way in. He said there's at least a couple of creek crossings that could be up. So tomorrow morning, I'll be getting down to the last trailhead and hopping on the road. Probably. There's one bridge I might try to get to, but I don't know if it's worth trying to get to it or not. I'm real worried about biking several miles in and coming to these flooded out bridges. Anyways, let's go find a spot to set up camp. On we go, folks. Well, that's the end of this day. I got camp set up. People always ask me, they say they want more camp stuff. If you're one of the people that says you want more camp stuff, what is it exactly that you want? Because all I do is set up my camp and then pretty much go to bed. So I have my tent is the Durston X Dome. They call it the 1 Plus because it's huge. I have a Nemo Tensor pad that I use. You can see me blowing it up with the pump sack. I'm using my 50-degree quilt from Enlightened Equipment. And I have one of those blow-up pillows. It's the Nemo King Pillow or something. It's an air pillow, but it has foam in it as well. I toss in all my electronics into the tent. And then I lock the bike up and I run a cable into the tent to keep, so people can't just wheel it off while I'm asleep. Probably never happen, but it helps me sleep. That's it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be jumping on the road almost immediately at the last trailhead here on this section of the trail. I talked to a fella this morning, well, not this morning, this evening, about the end of the day, and he said there's bridges on the trail that are out. Well, bridges not on the trail, but on the where the railroad was at. So there's a section 25 miles in between this section of trail and the Clendenin section of trail that they've not finished yet, and the bridges on that part have been washed out, at least a couple of them, and I'm not crossing any creeks currently, so we'll be riding on the road. I'm not sure if I can make it from one end to the other. The fellow I was talking about gave me his number, and we might come out here and explore the area and see if we can't get across it. I don't know. But, yeah. That's it for now. That's all I can think of. We'll hit the road pretty much first thing in the morning. Not sure how much of that I'm going to film. I may or may not film taking camp down in the morning. Depends on how I feel. How do y'all like that? I did it this morning. A little scene of me getting out of the tent. So we hit the road tomorrow. I think it's 23 to 25 miles. Hopefully it's not hilly. I can knock that out. And then I'll film the Clendenin section of trail. And that'll be it for this for the Elk River Rail Trail. I guess good night. See you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It's cold. It's like 48 degrees according to the weather. I barely had enough service to check it. I don't have my thermometer with me. And it's foggy this morning, but it looks like it's lifting pretty quickly. When I was rolling out of my tent, it was quite foggy. But there's no clouds cover this morning and the sun's out. So the fog's disappearing pretty quick, which is good. Because in just a few minutes, we're going to be riding on the road. So I'm pretty much at the end of this section of trail. We're going to hop up on the road, bike to the other section of trail. We got about 25 miles on the road. It's Monday morning. I forgot to check the time, but it's about 7 o'clock. So I'm hoping it's not too busy on the road. This section of road isn't the main route people take. There's another route that's shorter, but it's more traffic and it's hilly. This route on the road basically follows the same path. So the rail line followed the Elk River here, and this road we're taking on the Elk River just on the other side of it. I don't know how much filming I'll do on the road, so I'm hoping to get it done pretty quick. I'm getting an earlier start today than I did yesterday. Yesterday I wasn't in any kind of hurry to get going because I knew I was just going to camp somewhere pretty early. Anyways, on we go, folks. On we go. It doesn't look like it's a super busy road. All the traffic was heading the other way. There's another route to get to Clendenin that's shorter, and this is probably the old route. Might be in luck if there's no traffic. Well, here comes the car. Folks, I'm just guessing out here. I don't know. So, we're on the road until we get to the other section of the trail. I think it's 23 or 25 miles. 23 to 25. I tried to calculate it on the Google Maps last night, but I didn't have good service. So once we hit the other section of the trail, I think it's only 3 to 5 miles long. That's what we're doing. Like and subscribe, follow along, and on we go. Yeah, my assumption is most of the folks on this road will just be locals. Locals as in people actually on the road. But I don't know that for sure. It just seemed like all the traffic was going the other way. There was a lot of traffic on the bridge, and they was all going the other direction. Still have a good view of the river from the road here. It might actually be a better view. Maybe not from the camera. Anyways, I'm gonna shut this down and get the rolling. Need to pay attention. Oh no, a hill. I'm out on what I think is Route 4. It's likely a busier road, but it's not busy currently. I've only seen a couple cars. About 8 miles on this road, and then we'll get to the other section of the trail. The other road wasn't busy. I think I was on it for about 15 miles, and I only saw a couple cars. It rolls along the river, a lot of pretty spots. And it gets narrow. It turns into a pretty small road. But again, I didn't see too many cars, just a couple. And not one time did 2 cars pass at the same time. Anyways, I should probably pay a little attention out here. See y'all on the trail. Well, I made it back to the trail. About 23 or 24 miles of road between the 2 sections. This section of the trail is pretty short, in between Meek Shoals, West Virginia, and Clendenin, West Virginia. Maybe 4 miles. And that'll be it. So I'm on my 2nd week. This is day 9 of no caffeine. And I'm kicking off a diet this week. Always trying to diet, and I fail miserably. I haven't eaten anything today. I'm attempting to fast. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it out here biking or not. I was starting to bonk there at the end of the road section, well, now. But I've only got 4 miles or so left. So I think I'm all right. I gotta drop like 20, 30 pounds. Anyways, let's get to the end of the trail here, and I'll give you my feedback on it. It's Monday. Back to work tomorrow. On we go. Well, that is it for the Elk River Rail Trail. The trail's in good shape. There's a few places where the gravel's come up through the crushed stone, or at least there's gravel on the crushed stone. So you know, be cautious for that. But that's like any trail, not a big deal. The trail starts at mile marker 22. They use the original railway mile markers, which I think is cool. Starts in Gassaway at mile marker 22, and the longest section of the trail goes down to Heartland at mile marker 66. And in the clay area, they put in a visitor center. It's not done yet, but it's going to be nice when it's done. Like, the building looks good. There's water at that visitor center, but it's not currently on. I assume it'll be on when the building's open. Right now, there's no access to water on the trail at all. You can get water from the gas station in Gassaway, which is maybe a block off the trail. And in Clay, you can get water, but you got to go up a pretty steep hill and then across the bridge. It's not terrible. I did it. But it's not on the trail. So if you're going to ride the trail, make sure you have water. I carried 3 liters of water with me. And it was overkill, but you know, on a hot day, maybe it wouldn't be. The trail goes a little further past Heartland, but not much further. My original intent was to try to ride the rail line all the way down, but I was informed that some of the rail line bridges have been washed away, so I crossed over in Heartland to the road, rode the road back. About 23 miles of road section, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't really a busy, like neither one of the roads I was on was busy. And then you hop back on the trail in Mink Shoals. So one section of the trail stops at 66, and the Mink Shoals section is mile 90. There's about 24 miles of rail line there. And it goes down from 90 down to about 94 in Clendenin. The trail is actually paved through Clendenin, and it's pretty nice. It rolls straight through town to the other end before it stops. They're planning on trying to connect the two ends. And I hear they want to run it all the way to Charleston, which would be really cool if they did. I would like to see them take it to Elkins. So the original railroad line went from Charleston to Elkins. And Gassaway is actually the halfway point between Charleston and Elkins. Almost halfway. It'd be really cool if they ran it to Elkins. Anyways, I think that's it. Probably forgetting something. Well, that is it for this ride. I can't, if I had something else, I can't remember it. I'm tired. This was my first overnight trip since my Greenbrier ride. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyways, till next time, folks, follow along. This is quality content.
Like and subscribe.
Bane is the most awesome dude ever.
Like and subscribe.